Welcome back to Two Wise Guys 5. My name is Patrick Sanchez.
And I am John Franquist.
Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to cover a hot topic, a topic that's trying to be solved in the last 50 years, and that's the JFK assassination.
And we are going to solve that case tonight. Now, you notice we got this casual attire. We're not wearing our ties. In honor of Presidente Kennedy, we are drinking Presidente beer. Here's to you, Jack.
Here's to you, Jack.
There you go. We miss you, guys.
Bada bing.
Bada boom, bada bing. Okay.
All right, so we're going to get right to it. Today we're going to try to solve everything. We're going to cover some facts, the assassination, the conspiracy, and then we're going to try to wrap it up with who did this for once and for all, so we could,
we're going to solve this.
We're going to solve it. We're wise.
Now, here's the thing. I was wearing these sunglasses. I didn't want to get recognized. But you know what? I'm a brave dude, man.
Hey, you're a brave
my
dude.
Face out to the public.
There you go, you ugly mug.
You too. Do it.
Hey,
Take your glasses
I'm not
off.
that brave.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
All right, John F. Kennedy.
We are going to speak quickly because we got a lot to cover. So
we're going to solve it for you people.
We're going to solve the assassination case. Okay. John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. He is at 43 the youngest president elected in the United States. Our first Catholic. Basically, some of his accomplishments in the presidency, mostly known was for solving the Cuban Missile Crisis. He pushed civil rights. He also pushed the NASA program of what we know today as far as aeronautics. But best of all, he married Jackie.
Way to go, Jackie boy!
The man had good taste.
The man has some taste in woman, let me tell you.
But we could say a lot more about President Kennedy, but today we want to cover the assassination and the conspiracies behind it. Basically, the day of the assassination, John F. Kennedy arrives at Dallas, Texas on November 22nd, 1963. It rode in his presidential limo with no top on it.
Now, the car had no top, right? In the front seat, there was a driver. And there was 3 rows. First row, driver. Second row, Texas Governor John Connally and his wife. And Connally's on the right, wife is on his left. Behind Governor Connally is President Kennedy. Next to President Kennedy is Jackie Kennedy, his wife. That was the order. The car is driving through Dealey Plaza. And there's crowds everywhere. It's like a parade. Remember, there's no top. Now, what happens?
Well, there's a bullet rings out.
Bullets start shooting. Now, bullets start shooting everywhere.
One goes through his throat.
One goes through his throat. Governor Connally is shot. We're going to go into details later. And then one final shot does what?
It bashes the president's brain open, which was the fatal shot.
And if you see the Zapruder film, you'll see the right side of his head just blast open.
Thank God for the Zapruder film.
JFK is rushed to Parkland Hospital. They tried to save him, but he died. Now, here's a funny thing from Parkland Hospital.
There's a funny thing about when he died?
Ironic thing. Okay. Strange thing. Parkland Hospital, Dallas, they weren't able to save him, but he was moved on Air Force One to Washington, where they were going to do the autopsy. Now, in the meantime, while he's being flown to Washington, police are scrambling all over the place to find out where the shooting happened, and they targeted. People saw the windows.
There was a lot of witnesses pointing everywhere. Up to the building, grassy knoll. Everyone's pointing different directions.
I feel I'm getting a little mood here. I'm going to have some Presidente.
You don't have to. You keep touching me, man. I'm having problems.
Okay, the building where the shots came out, they saw was a Texas Book Depository from the 6th floor window. Police run into the building. They find a rifle on the 6th floor and cartridges
very quickly,
on the ground.
by the way.
And I got a blank card. By the way, you notice we got notes because there's a lot of material. But anyway,
Are you showing our
secrets, what did they do? They get to the police get to the Texas Book
Depository. The police get to the Texas Book Depository. They start accounting for all the employees that are there. All the employees were accounted for except one, which was Lee Harvey Oswald, who had left the scene.
He left the building. Someone saw him arrive at the building that morning with a big package, which could have been a rifle. So now the police are on the lookout for Lee Harvey Oswald. What was Oswald doing all this time?
Well,
when he was gone.
Well,
where'd he go?
There's so many theories. I mean, he ran downstairs, went to a Coke machine or a Pepsi machine thing. Some people saw him in the front. Next thing you know, he grabs a bus, goes back home, and puts on the jacket, gets a revolver, and after that he walks out. Sometime later he shoots the infamous Officer Tippit.
Slow down.
Hey, whoa. I'm just trying to let you know what's going on.
He leaves the house. He leaves the house a mile away from the house, a little over a mile. He shoots who?
Officer Tippit, man.
He shoots a police officer, Officer Tippit. Why did he shoot Officer Tippit? What's the theory here?
Nobody knows, man.
Well,
it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Well, they say that Officer Tippit says he looked like the description the police had already sent out.
Man, what was the time between all that? They had a description, and this happened from the shots to that. What are we talking about? Less than an hour?
Officer Tippit was killed around at 1:16 or so, and Kennedy was shot around a little over noon, 12 something. Okay.
Eastern Standard.
So he shoots a police officer. He runs away. Where does he go?
to a movie theater.
And supposedly he goes in. Well, how did he go in? He went in there. He went without paying.
Well, that's no big deal. The man's scared for his life, man. Who cares? I would run if I robbed or killed somebody. I'm not going to be thinking about paying.
That's true.
He goes in there, sits down, and he's like a sitting duck now. Now you would think if you are the lone assassin and you just shot the president of the United States, what compels you to sit in a movie theater to get caught?
Unless
you would think you would run for your life.
If he's a lone assassin. If there was a conspiracy, maybe it's a meeting place. But anyway, point is, police arrive on the scene and arrest him. He's taken, he's interrogated. Less than 2 days later, he's been accused of killing the president and Officer Tippit. He's led to, in the parking lot, he's led to an armored car. And when he's being led to the armored car, a nightclub owner named Jack Rubenstein, they call him Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner.
Yep.
When he sees Oswald being escorted, he walks up to Oswald and shoots him. Oswald dies in the same hospital that Kennedy died in. Ironically. So, you can see...
So, right there, the case is basically closed. The trial is done because Ruby killed our killer.
Right.
Now, those were the facts.
Now,
who had a motive, John?
Right.
Who had a motive to kill JFK?
Whoever killed the president...
He was a good guy.
Whoever killed the president, well, obviously some people didn't think so, because they were...
the only person I can think of is Joe DiMaggio, because he banged Marilyn Monroe.
That is true. We're going to get to that. But anyway,
we're going to get to Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, you go. Now, who had a motive in killing JFK? Well, first of all...
I say Joe DiMaggio.
Let's go in order here. Cuban communists. Remember, under John F. Kennedy's watch, the CIA was trying to kill Fidel Castro. There was an invasion, a disastrous invasion of Cuba. Cuba lost in the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was also, ironically, the anti-Castro group, because when John F. Kennedy promised not to invade Cuba, these anti-Castro groups were pissed. The mob. Why would the mob want to kill JFK?
They had investments in Havana, sir. They had casinos, and they had all sorts of racketeering going on in the U.S.
I remember that.
And Robert F. Kennedy, JFK's younger brother, who was Attorney General, deported Sam Giancana, one of the head mobsters at the time. So
the mob felt betrayed because
legend has it that John F. Kennedy's father helped out with the rigging of the votes back during the campaign, and supposedly the mob helped out with that.
Right. And also, the mob was being used by the CIA allegedly to help kill Castro.
Right.
Who else could have a motive? The labor union, Jimmy Hoffa, was also under investigation, and he had ties with the mob. Now, who else had a motive in killing John F. Kennedy?
Allen Dulles, the head of the CIA at the time.
I would say the CIA in general. He wasn't the only one. Allen Dulles was fired because he was the head of the CIA, and after the Bay of Pigs, he was fired by John F. Kennedy. And the CIA was also pissed because Kennedy decided to no longer invade Cuba. They felt that he was soft with Vietnam.
And also, he was kind of like... not bowing down to Russia, but he was just being too friendly with Russia.
He wanted to sign some kind of peace treaty.
Right.
And also, military leaders were also felt betrayed by JFK because, same reason.
They felt he was too soft.
Too soft on communism, backing off of Vietnam. The FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, who some say was being extorted by the mob, was being ordered to investigate the mob, which he didn't want to do.
And we know Hoover's secrets, too, so he didn't want that coming out, all his, fancy dresses.
And you know who had a really big motive for killing JFK?
I can only imagine.
Jackie Kennedy. Why? Because she was pissed off because he was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe.
That's where my Joe DiMaggio conspiracy comes in, but that's a different story.
So anyway, those were the motives. Those are the people that had motives.
Those were the facts. I forgot the rest.
But anyway, and as you know, I'm throwing notes around here.
Well, stop showing the notes.
Anyway, Oswald was only 24 when he killed the president.
Yeah, that's a young man.
Real quickly, I just want to breeze through this. He was a withdrawn young man. Oswald, when he was young, he used to read a lot. And he dropped out of high school at 17, joins the Marine, becomes a sharpshooter, got court-martialed twice, studies Russian, says his mother is sick, and he leaves the Marines. In 1959, before Kennedy became president, by the way, he was only 20 years old. He defects to the Soviet Union.
This guy did a lot for 20 years old.
At 20 years old, he's already in the Soviet Union. He's allowed into the Soviet Union, works in a factory, and marries a 19-year-old Marina Prosakova.
Prostate?
And then they had a daughter who they called June. Later, they had another daughter.
Right.
Suddenly, this guy is bored of the Soviet Union, wants to come back to the U.S. In May of 1962, he's allowed back into the U.S. He settles down in Dallas, and he has a lot of trouble holding jobs. Can't hold a job, has problems. Now, this is important because we're going to get sidetracked a little bit. We're going to get sidetracked for a moment. Before the assassination, April 1963, same year that Kennedy got shot, but months earlier.
Right.
Oswald allegedly bought a rifle and tries to kill a general, General Edwin Walker, a right-wing general extremist.
Yeah.
Walker was sitting in his house at the table.
Yeah.
And Oswald aimed at him through a window less than 100 feet away and missed. Some say he just didn't like the general.
Right.
He goes to New Orleans a couple of weeks later. He joins an anti-Castro group, but he gets fired. Then he joins the FPCC, which is Fair Play for a Cuba Committee.
Why did he get fired from the anti-Castro group?
I don't know, but he got fired. He joins the Fair Play for Cuba, which is kind of a Marxist group, which kind of later things indicate that maybe he was just infiltrating the FPCC, that he was really part of the anti-Castro group. Maybe he wasn't fired and was just checking on the other guys. But let's move ahead.
Please.
September 1963.
Wasn't that the year you were born? The month and year?
That was a month, but not the year. I was born in 60.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Okay. September 1963. Oswald goes to Mexico. What does he do in Mexico?
Get tequila
Now,
shots.
remember, this is 2 months before the assassination. He goes to Mexico to do what?
From what I understand, he goes to the Cuban embassy in Mexico to try to get a visa to go to Russia.
Well, to go to Cuba first and then
Go to Russia.
Russia.
Right.
Okay. He was denied.
Well, and he, I believe he went to both embassies.
Yes.
They were both in Mexico, and they kept telling him to go to the other embassy.
Right, and he got into arguments, but the point is he's in Mexico City in the Soviet embassy, the Cuban embassy,
Right.
trying to go back to Soviet Union for God knows what reason. He's not allowed. He leaves to the U.S., you know what? They gave him permission, but he was gone. Okay.
Well, those were the days.
October 16th, less than a month before the assassination, I should say about a month, Oswald gets a job in the Texas Book Depository.
How convenient.
How convenient. Less than about a month before the assassination, Oswald gets a job in the same building where he has a place where he could be a sniper and shoot at the president.
So let me get this straight, John. You got somewhat of a 24-year-old radical.
24 years old.
24-year-old radical who goes in and out of Cuban embassies, Russian embassies, Mexico, joins anti-Castro movements, is an ex-Marine, he's a professional marksman sniper, and gets a job at the Texas Book Depository weeks before the presidential
Weeks before the president is going to be driving by.
I mean, things are just happening to this guy.
And by the way, the motorcade originally was not going to pass by the Texas Book Depository. They were not going to pass by the Texas Book Depository.
How do you know this?
Because I'm so smart. Because we're wise guys, you forgot. Oswald gets a job in the Texas Book Depository. Then suddenly the motorcade was expanded. Suddenly, now they're...
Something they don't do today is announce a presidential motorcade.
Well,
anyway.
it was at times. I can see that much.
I understand.
But how convenient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the assassination happens. After the Kennedy assassination, Oswald was arrested for killing that police officer, Tippit.
Yeah.
And he got shot by Jack Ruby and dies. Now, a committee was formed, which was supposed to be an independent committee.
And all this was prompted because people were crying, foul play,
Right.
There was a conspiracy, and so Lyndon Johnson, the president at the time, was pretty much pushed into, we got to investigate this to shut everybody up.
Exactly. I mean, the guy who was accused of killing the president is in turn killed.
Right.
So he wasn't able to talk, so people didn't believe that he acted alone. So a committee was formed. It was called, remember this, the Warren Commission.
That's 2 hours.
They spent 10 months investigating, and after 10 months, they decided that Oswald acted alone. Most people don't believe this. Why? Okay. The asylum. Tell me a little bit about that. What do you think?
The asylum.
I mean, okay, he got asylum in the Soviet Union. He was a defector.
He was a defector.
Now, he's a U.S. Marine. He was allowed to go to the Soviet Union.
Again, it must have been, I don't know if it was the times that there was that flexibility,
Yeah,
but they had to be a target on this guy.
This is during the Cold War. And by the way,
it was November.
he was allowed to go into the Soviet Union, and then what happened?
He comes back to the U.S. with no problem.
And he goes back to the U.S. You would think the U.S. would deny him, or at least...
Well, is there any record saying that the FBI was keeping tabs on this guy?
The FBI was keeping tabs on Oswald. They have a record on tab.
He was known. He was in their books.
Yes, but you would think they would have jumped all over that. They didn't. He kind of casually came in with his Russian wife and baby. All right. Now, the attempt on General Walker. He tries to kill Walker. I already mentioned he misses 100 feet away, even though he did a headshot on Kennedy from that building. But, all right. He tries to kill General Walker months before killing Kennedy. Misses, right?
Yeah.
And he was using, he had bought the rifle with an ID.
Yeah, right.
A fake ID.
They use an alias because he had a
Exactly.
PO box somewhere else.
But a couple of things. That ID, don't you think that if he really tried to kill General Walker and missed, he would get rid of the rifle and the ID? At least the ID?
No, not really, because this man had plans for future stuff.
Also, he knew in April that he was going to kill the president in November?
No. This is a guy who obviously has mental issues and is he's not going to throw away his rifle.
So
this man's mentality, because his mission to buy that rifle wasn't just to kill General Walker.
Right, so you're saying he's a lone nut.
I'm just saying that he's a nut, period, and he wants his rifle. I wouldn't get rid of the rifle.
Then he's a lone nut. Then he's a lone assassin. I don't buy that. He's a lone assassin now? I thought there was a conspiracy.
I'm answering your question of why he wouldn't get rid of the rifle.
Okay. Would he get rid of the ID?
Does he need to?
You try to kill somebody.
He covered his tracks.
And you don't cover. He didn't cover his tracks.
They didn't find out till after the crash.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Besides that, when he tried to kill General Walker, supposedly he left a note to his wife saying, "If I don't come back, do this and do that." Mysteriously, that note wasn't anywhere. But after JFK was assassinated, 10 days after that assassination, they found the note.
Conveniently.
Convenient, right. Now, by the way, the police had no suspects on the April assassination attempt on General Walker
Until Oswald
but
surfaced.
after they killed JFK,
Now we do.
Oswald becomes the main suspect. Hours after the JFK assassination.
Now, is it because of the rifle, the bullets? How did they piece the
The
puzzle?
only thing I could think to-
I mean, Beretta wasn't around.
They showed Oswald an ID that had A. Heidel on it, the same name as the guy who bought the rifle. They said, "Look, this is the rifle that you had," and Oswald denied that was his ID. By the way.
Right.
Okay, but I still say, don't you think after trying to kill a general that he would try to cover his tracks and get rid of the ID and the rifle?
Maybe no, because he wanted to probably try to kill him again or kill somebody else. This guy had probably a mission to kill people.
Okay, now we already mentioned.
Why would he purchase another rifle? I'm just letting you know. I'm not saying he's the lone. I'm just letting you know there's no need. He didn't buy that rifle just to kill General Walker. He bought that rifle because he has intentions to kill people.
Okay.
Plurals. No, you're making me spit. man.
Hey, don't spit. It's just some
No,
class.
shit.
Anyway, why didn't he try again? Until November.
Maybe he did. We don't know.
All right. Anyway, Oswald gets a job at the Texas Book Depository less than a month before the assassination. I mean, again, how convenient. The motorcade, like we mentioned, was printed in the Dallas newspaper, so people knew where the motorcade was going.
Right.
But at the last minute, they added to that. The motorcade was changed to include passing by the Texas Book Depository.
Right.
Okay, question.
Yes, please.
Something that you mentioned.
Oh,
Okay. You said if Oswald was acting alone, let's
Yes,
just say he was acting alone.
Yes.
When he left the Texas Book Depository, what do you think he would have done?
Well, I have two things. Because they portray Oswald as a lone gunman who wanted some sort of glory.
Right.
Okay, so my thing is, if you're a lone gunman and you're looking for glory and attention, you want your 15 minutes of fame, and this is the way you can fit in your Marxist world. Well, you shot the president, you take the blame. You're there, you're caught. In fact, Oswald, during one of those interrogations, is asked, "Did you kill the president?" He says, "I haven't been charged of that." That was his opportunity to say, "Yes, I did kill the president,"
Right.
to get his glory. B, if you don't want to take the glory, but you want to escape, because you would think there's some normality in you to escape, you shoot and have an escape route. You should either have a cab ready, a bus ride ready, an airfare ticket to get out of town. And he made himself accessible to get caught.
Exactly. In other words, if you kill the president and you acted alone, either you want to get caught, in which case you don't run away, or you run away.
And from a distance, you say, "I did it, but now I'm in Mexico."
You don't go home looking for your gun and your jacket.
No,
doesn't make any sense.
You should have your gun in your jacket with you.
Right. Now, he had a lot of strange friends. He had friends that were mercenaries, Soviets,
Well, he's an
military,
ex-Marine, man.
anti-Castro groups,
Well,
Marxist
he
groups.
joined these people.
Okay, but there was a Guy Bannister, David Ferry, who were anti-Castro groups. One of them was FBI, by the way. Guy Bannister was with the FBI.
Oh, really?
There's rumors that he knew Jack Ruby, the guy who ended up killing him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there because I don't have the facts on that one.
But you can look it up on JFK
But
by Oliver Stone.
Look it all up. Or any, just do your homework. Okay, Jack Ruby kills Oswald because why did Jack Ruby kill Oswald?
Now, shut him up.
Well, we know that Jack Ruby killed Oswald to shut him up. But what did Jack Ruby say?
He wanted to kill him because he didn't want the Kennedy family or Jackie to suffer during a trial situation.
Right.
Which is the stupidest thing. He could have easily just hit him in the face or shoot him, I don't know, in the arm or something.
Right. Jack Ruby said, the Warren Commission said that Jack Ruby was really not a mobster, that he was a low-level, maybe gangster, but he had
right.
low-level, area down there with the mobsters. He wasn't a big guy, but yet, who were his friends?
Sam Giancana and Joseph Capisi.
Sam Giancana, a big boss in Chicago, was a friend of Jack Ruby. In fact, when he got arrested, he actually asked Campisi to visit him. Jimmy Hoffa. Now, this is all theory. What I'm about to say right now is theory. It might not be true, but I'll throw it out there.
Was everything else true, what you said?
Of course it was.
Okay.
Jimmy Hoffa said that he was told that someone pressured Jack Ruby to talk to his police officer friends and to try to get Oswald killed. Jack Ruby messed it up or wasn't able to do it and was told to either kill Oswald or he would pay with his life.
So you're saying Ruby had to kill this guy?
Ruby had to kill Oswald or get in turn killed himself.
Because apparently his cop friends couldn't do it.
Right.
Okay.
So that may not be true, by the way. That's just a theory.
It could stick. By the way, there's a lot of film footage where Ruby appears in all the...
Yes.
The transportation between Oswald and the cops.
Right. Now, here's something. There have been lone nut cases before.
Yes.
I can believe that a lone nut could kill the president. But you got one lone nut kill the president, then you got this loose cannon killing a lone nut. You might have one lone nut, but not two. I'm sorry, I don't buy that.
There's too much going on.
Jack Ruby, by the way, the guy who killed Oswald, was sentenced to death. He appealed. 4 years later, while he's in jail, he dies of cancer. Now we're going to get to a special. We're going to have to breeze through this one because we want to wrap it up a bit. But the magic bullet,
the infamous magic bullet.
Remember, Oswald shot 3 times.
And please breeze.
Warren Commission Warren Commission concluded that Oswald shot 3 times. First bullet missed, and the reason we know about that bullet is coincidentally it grazed a bystander that was under the underpass somewhere. It missed completely. Okay. Second bullet hit Kennedy in the back, upper back, went through his throat. Curved, hit the governor in his back, came out the governor's chest, struck him in his wrist, curved in the air, and landed in his thigh. When the governor went to the hospital, they found the bullet like on a stretcher. Like, the bullet fell out. That it was in pristine condition. The third bullet...
It sounds like the magic loogie that was in Seinfeld. But go ahead.
Yeah, now, they have done all these tests on TV, shooting bullets through cadavers.
With experts.
All this physicists trying to prove that it's possible for a bullet to do all that. Why not entertain the possibility of a 4th bullet? A conspiracy. In other words.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a quick question. Let's just say you're married, you come home, you see your wife in bed, naked with another man.
Okay.
And she tells you, no, my back hurt, I need a massage, I took my clothes off to get a massage. This guy's giving me a massage, and he got hot because the AC's busted, so he took his clothes off, he's just giving me a massage. Would you believe that story?
It makes sense. Hell no, I wouldn't believe that.
Exactly.
No.
But what if the Warren Commission investigated for you? And they do reenactments and they shoot bullets through cadavers and they say, well, the AC that's working, it could conk out. It's possible to break down for
and the guy that was in bed with your wife naked suffers from hot spasms and he has to take off his clothes.
In other words, it's possible, but give me a break. Common sense. Look, I don't think we even have to argue about the magic bullet. It makes no sense. Cover up now. We're in the cover up area. I've got to wrap this up. The limo. What happened to they said there was a bullet hole in the windshield of the limo. But we don't know this today. Why?
You know why?
Tell me.
Because the country can't handle the truth, John.
The windshield was removed. The windshield was removed and another one replaced it. Something else.
Yeah.
When JFK was did his autopsy in Washington, we have a final draft of the autopsy that's available, but the original...
You have a final draft?
I know, but
okay.
The original autopsy notes...
Yes.
The doctor who performed the autopsy...
Yes.
Burned...
Why? Why would he burn that? That's official documents,
there were blood stains on the document.
Come
he
on,
didn't want anybody to get into that.
Give that bone to another dog. Come on.
Okay, so anyway... those are the facts. There's tons of stuff more. There's guys.
By the way, what about the documents that are? Wait, I can't talk. Wait, when you talk, I don't say nothing.
Talk.
How many times, man? The classified documents that are going to be revealed to the year whatever.
2029.
And they're still. Why are they still being sealed?
Because I guess they're waiting for everybody to die. Okay, now there's tons more. Sam Giancana was going to talk about the Kennedy assassination and possible ties to the mafia in 1975, years after the assassination. Sam Giancana, the big mobster. But before he was able to testify before the Senate, someone went into his kitchen and killed him.
How convenient.
Johnny Roselli, another gangster, he got killed.
How convenient.
A lot of witnesses that were there, they were killed.
Very convenient.
And Jack Ruby, of course, we know he died of cancer, but you know he owned a nightclub?
Yeah.
4 of his showgirls died mysteriously.
Were they dancing?
Yeah.
How convenient.
They died dancing, no. Anyway, and there's tons more. There's tons more. We got to get into
So everyone dies conveniently.
But now,
during this whole
but
thing.
you know what? We're talking about the why and the how and the cover-up.
The X and the O's.
We got to find out who killed JFK. We're going to solve it now.
I got this,
Okay.
man. I had this from the first index
Who
card.
was close to Jack Ruby?
The mob.
And who, besides the government, had motives to kill Kennedy?
Besides the government?
Yes.
The mob.
Who had ties to the police?
The mob.
Sam Giancana, who was trying to kill Castro. Who did he work for?
How many times I'm going to tell you the mob, damn it?
The mob. Now, who had knowledge of Oswald's
Had what?
knowledge of Oswald's activities in the Soviet Union?
The CIA, man.
And who had power to cover up afterwards?
Oh, CIA, my friend.
And who could pressure the Justice Department and plant evidence and cover up evidence and get rid of evidence? Who could do that?
Besides Superman, the CIA.
And Aaron Dulles, who was heading the Warren Commission investigating the assassination. Who did he work for before that?
The CIA, man.
So, who had the most to gain from the Kennedy assassination?
Well, sir, I'll narrow it down to you. The mob and the CIA, damn it.
So who killed JFK?
The mob and the CIA.
They
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Exactly.
You see,
Okay.
50 years, and we resolved it in 30 minutes.
We're like Judge Judy.
Please.
You
And if you want to resolve any other mysteries that are still lingering out there, please write to us at... Where do they write to us?
2 Wise Guys
5 at gmail.com. We can resolve the Bruce Lee mystery, even Elvis Presley, and Robert F. Kennedy.
Okay, we're a little winded. We got so excited because we solved this case, by the way.
Right.
It's common sense. You know why? Because we're 2 wise guys.
And you know why? Because we can handle the truth.
Common sense, people. Anyway,
Right.
this is John Franquist.
I'm Patrick Sanchez. Salud, Don Coleon.
Salute to you. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck, Jack.